In the previous lesson, furniture cells were created and placed into a cell library. Those cells will now be used to further embellish the floor plan. Here we are inside of MicroStation, and we have the proposed restaurant DGN file open. We are going to begin our next task by zooming to the area where columns E5 and E6 are located. For this task, we'll be placing a fish tank in the waiting area. So, from the ribbon, we'll make the Place Active Cell tool active. In the Tool Settings window, we'll click the Browse Cells button, and as a result, this opens the Cell Library dialog. From here, we'll click File, Attach File. We'll select the Building Furniture Cell Library, then click Open to attach it. From the list of cells that we have here, we're going to pick Waiting Fish Tank and set this as the active cell for placement. Coming into the view, we'll snap to the lower right corner of column E5 and issue a data point to place the cell. Now that we placed the fish tank, we'll be adding the hostess station. So continuing with the Place Active Cell tool, we'll set the active cell as Waiting Hostess Station. Then we'll snap to the lower left corner of column E6. And we'll issue a data point to place this cell. Our next task will be adding the Sushi Counter fish tank. So we'll zoom to the area where column B5 is located. We'll open up the cell library and set the counter and fish tank as the active cell for placement. We can then snap to the wall corner and issue a data point to place the counter and fish tank cell. Coming back into the Tool Settings window, in the cell placement options, we'll set the mirror to vertical. Next, we'll snap to the wall corner near column B6. And then we'll issue a data point to place the mirrored cell here. For our next task, we'll be adding the Lobster Tank. So we'll navigate the view to the area where columns C5 and C6 are located. We'll make the Lobster Tank the active cell for placement. In the Tool Settings window, we want to make sure that the option for mirror is disabled. From the keyboard, we'll press F11, and this of course will give focus to Accudraw. Then we'll snap to the upper right corner of column C5 and press O on the keyboard. For this next step, we want to make sure that we are in polar coordinates mode. Hint, press the M key to toggle Accujaw between rectangular and polar input modes. So now we're going to move the cursor to the right, snapping to the upper left corner of column C6. We'll press the / to invoke the Accudraw's calculator. Here we'll key in 2 to divide the distance between the two columns in half. And now, while maintaining this snap point, we'll issue a data point. And now we're going to turn our focus to the dining area where we're going to be adding tables. For this, we'll navigate the view to where column B7 is located. And now we're going to place the table and chairs cell that we created in an earlier exercise. In the Tool Settings window, we'll set the active angle to 45 degrees and both X and Y scale set for 1.0. Then, utilizing Accujaw, we'll snap to the upper left corner of column B7. We'll place the Accujaw origin here. For this next procedure, use the rectangular Accujaw coordinate mode. So we'll move our cursor in upward direction and key in the distance of 1,270. From here, we'll move our cursor to the left. We'll key in the distance of 1,360, and we'll issue a data point to place this cell. So now that we have our first instance of the dining table and chairs, we're going to use a manipulation tool to copy this throughout our dining area. So from the ribbon, we'll make the Array tool active. In the Tool Settings window, we'll set the method to rectangular, active angle to 0, rows to 2, columns to 5. For our row spacing, this will be negative 2,743. And for our column spacing, we'll set this to be 2,105. Now, coming back into the view, we'll pick the existing dining table 4 cell with a data point. And then we'll issue a second data point to accept the on-screen preview. And as a result, we now have 10 dining table 4 cells that will make up our dining area. During this lesson, you learned how to attach a cell library, place cells, apply precision placement via Accudraw, and utilize the rectangular array to quickly populate design.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.